सबको रिझाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल।
राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
जो जीवन का सार समझ ले, जीवन उसका है। जर्रा निकाले जो माटी, सब कंचन उसका है। जर्रा निकाले जो माटी, सब कंचन उसका है। परतें हटाता चल, मन को सजाता चल। परतें हटाता चल, मन को सजाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, 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 राम धुन गाता चल।
राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम। 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 राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
अमर है राम भरत का प्यार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। राम भरत की गाथा होगी जब तक है संसार। अमर है राम भरत का प्यार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार।
सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Our lives, our death is all determined by desire. We take birth as and when we wish, and we die as and when we wish. Why are we born? Because of our desires. We wish to be born there. Why will we die? Because that place is no longer suitable for the fulfillment of our desires. Then what happens after you die? The desires are still there. So now you take another form for the fulfillment of those desires. So the whole rigmarole is based on desires. Vedanta goes so far as to say your own desires are choosing your parents. So when people say, oh, that's hereditary or that's DNA, that's not opposed to Vedanta because you have chosen that particular DNA or that particular hereditary, whatever trait or whatever it is. So everything in my life is the consequence of what I have wanted. But if you look at your own life, your own personal life, you will notice that my life is really not the way I want it to be. If my whole life is what I have chosen, then why is it not the way I want it to be? There is nobody else, there is nothing else that determines how my life will be. Then why is my life not to my liking? If this theory was true, that everything in my life is according to my desires, then I must like everything about my life, right? But I don't. So many things are not as for my desires. What should I do? Or forget what should I do? How is it possible that desires determine life? So that's what we're going to try and study now. Who will read the next paragraph? Gunjan, you want to read the next paragraph?
If desires are the cause for the continuity of life, how can one take birth in an environment or circumstance not to his liking? Take a form of life different from his desire. Why would a person be born poor when he desires to be rich? Why would anyone desire to be born physically handicapped? If desires decide your life's pattern, how is it not so in actual fact? The world that you experience does not seem to always relate to your desires. This apparent paradox arises when you do not correlate cause and effect properly. Fully. Your desires, no doubt, decide the course of your life. But then it is not a particular desire that decides it. It is a compound of all the desires. The total effect of your desires decides the course. It is called the resultant desire.
You're summarizing, isn't it, Gunjan?
I didn't know that. Okay, so uh, this paragraph is saying that whatever we desire in life, that is what will happen in our life. That is how our life will be. But in reality, when we see our life, that doesn't seem to happen. So it is saying that it is not just about one desire equal to your life, but it is the sum total of all the desires equal to life.
Okay. And it is called
Resulting desire.
resultant desire. Now, this is a very important concept for us to understand. Otherwise, the whole theory makes no sense. So, what's the question? What is our original theory? That your desires determine your life. Now, if this is true, then my life should be the way I want. But we know that that is not so. Hardly anyone has a desire, has a life the way they desire. Poor people want to be rich. Single people want to be married. Married people want to be single. Everybody wants something different from what they have, right? How is it that that happens? So the answer to that question in 2 words is resultant desire. Now, what is resultant desire? Resultant desire is the combination of all your desires. Okay, so you do want to be rich, but you're poor. But actually, your single desire is to be rich, but your resultant desire is to be poor, and therefore you are poor. Okay, he's going to explain it, so I'm not going into detail at the moment. Kirti, are you new to class? Sandeep, Kirti, are you all new to class? I don't know why new people never speak to me. I think I have a really terrible. People take one look at me and say, better
Hello.
not speak to this
Yeah,
person.
hi. This
Hi.
is Sandeep. I'm new to the class.
Okay, is this
Just
your
took
first?
me time to unmute myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandeep. Kirti just
Thank
went,
you.
even at being asked, but at least you have responded. So yes, so is this your first class, Sandeep, or you have been hearing before?
Hello.
Yeah.
I attended one more class previously, but I've not been attending regularly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this class, this is the book we are doing, Vedanta
Yeah.
Treatise, the Eternities, and we are on the
Yes.
topic, law of karma. You're aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. So what we have said so far is that our life is determined by our desires.
Yes.
Now, if this be so, then why is my life not in accordance to my desires? Because everybody has a life which is different from what they would like to have. Poor people want to be rich. Rich people say, oh my God, so much trouble with all this money. Single people want to be double. Double people want to be single. I mean, weight wise, don't misunderstand. So, different people want different things. I mean, different means different from what their life is. So, how do you explain that? That is explained by the concept of resultant desire. Now, we are going to go into this discussion a little bit more. I mean, he's going to explain it. He's not going to leave it like this. He's going to explain it. So, we will deal with it. Sandeep, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Deepraj.
Yes. Thank you.
Where are you from, Sandeep?
I'm from Delhi.
Delhi. How did you
Yeah.
know about the class?
A friend of mine forwarded the link to me. So
All right, great.
that's all.
Deepraj. So, does this imply that a person with a single desire will always have a life that they want? Yes, of course. Anybody else who manages to have a single desire? Can you give me an example?
Like of the desire or of the person?
Whatever, give me an example of your statement.
Any
Single.
sannyasi will fall under this category.
Okay, but sannyasi may or may not have a single desire. Give me an example that you know and everybody knows. Single desire, and you have that thing. What it-
Ekalavya will be.
Yes, very good. Ekalavya had a single desire for archery. So he was the world's best archer.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Okay, I don't know whether that he had a single desire, but yes, he must have had this as the most predominant desire. So single, when you have just one desire, whatever it is in the world, you will obtain it. It's just, why do we not obtain it? Because we don't have single desire. Okay, what if for everything in life you will see that is true? I want to lose weight. But is that my only desire? No. Therefore, consequences, my size. Correct? So, but if I had only that desire, then how difficult is it? I want to lose weight. It is no big deal. Right? So, my life is determined not by any single desire, but by
Resultant desire.
resultant desire. But we're going to he's going to explain it. Yes, Taranjit?
Yeah, hi, Jangi. Good morning. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, I understood that we are saying that the life of an individual is a resultant of all the desires. Now, when we say resultant of all the desires, does it mean the resultant of my desires or resultant of others as well? Means I'm not a product of just my own desires, right? The others with whom I'm interacting, they also have some desires in the form of expectations from that individual. So my life is a combination, to my mind, is a resultant of all the desires, of all the interaction points I have, not just only my desires.
No, just your resultant is only of your desires. Because whenever you claim that you're doing something because of somebody else's desire, like, I don't know, are you married?
Yes.
If you're married, then you tell your wife, let us say, that come to this Vedanta class, it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And she has no interest in Vedanta at all. But she comes to the class because my beloved husband is telling me to listen to this. So, sunna pad raha hai.
Hmm.
Right? So, in the way you're phrasing it, it sounds like she has no desire, but because of your expectations, she's doing something.
Correct.
This is not an extendable thing. Why is she trying to fulfill your expectations? Because she wants her husband to whatever, to think she's a good wife, or she believes that husband should be listened to. It is always her desire. When
Okay. So if the culture changes, this might work in Indian culture, but if it is like a Western culture, it may not work. So culture is impacting the concept of desires that I have.
Not at all. When India was not a free nation, and everybody thought white skin meant something big, Gandhi, Tilak, these people got up and said, "No way, you're not giving up." I don't know if you're familiar. He said, "Swarajya Himaza Janma Siddha Hakka hai," that I should be self-governant is my birthright. You're not giving me independence. You have taken something from me. I'm saying give it back. So their stance was never of. I don't know if we may not be today getting what that stance was. If a white skinned person, a Brit, entered the room, a brown skinned person, an Indian, would stand up. Whatever the British did was aspirational for us. Oh, because they were the lords and masters. In that situation, some people said, "No way, this is not correct. India is better. You guys go jump. You all have come as beggars. We haven't come to you." So it's got nothing to do with culture. If your desires are not for that culture, you will break through it. If your desires are for the culture, you will align with it.
So what you're saying is all my desires are independent of anything beyond me.
They are not independent of anything beyond you. They are influenced, but their capacity to be influenced is based on that desire. Let me give you an example. Suppose a person likes to drink alcohol. Right? Now
Okay.
he's born in Goa. He will drink Feni. He's born in Germany. He will drink beer. He is born in I don't know, France. He'll drink champagne. He's born in Punjab, he'll drink scotch, whatever. But that level of influencing is going on. But
That
not
that is the way desire manifests. That is a
that's
that is a different part. But the question is why he started drinking in the first place,
his
right?
desire.
So his own desire, or like he saw his father or parents drinking it, and then that desire developed in him, right?
No way, no way. Your own desire. In many families, you will see the father drinks, the elder brother drinks, but the younger brother doesn't.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No,
Means
that's fine, means your culture is not determining it. I'm giving you an example to show that surrounded by people who drink, a person may not drink. Or a person may be surrounded in his family, alcohol is banned. In our country, you see this very much when it comes to non-veg food. There are people who are born in meat-eating families who become vegetarian, and there are people who are born in, let's say, a Jain family who like non-veg food.
so then why do we have the concept of satsang?
So that your good desires get a conducive environment to flower and blossom. If you don't have that, you know, like so many stories there are where a brother or sister of the guru, though closely associated with the guru, turned out to be totally opposite. So satsang will not help you unless you desire to
No,
become better.
in that way, all the desires are in everyone. That is true. No one is having, it can't be that, because if I say I am Brahman, right? So whatever form it is, so in unmanifested form or in subconscious states, I have all the desires in me. That's only the
No,
way it manifests over period of time. Which one takes the priority or preference is varied across all of us.
no, that's not true. How can you say all desires are in everybody? Suppose you're on the verge of realization and you have only one desire for the self.
Yeah, that is how it has, that desire has kind of come up, or that is the
No, but
most
anyway, now we are
most
going,
focused.
yeah, we're going way away from the flow of thought. Our current flow of thought is what? That we are only trying to establish the law that all our life is determined by our desire. If this be so, why is it that our life is not according to our desire? And the answer to that is resultant desire. So if you have anyway, we're going to discuss this in depth further, but we can't now go to other things. This much only.
Yeah, that I understood. The only point I was having is it only my desire or it goes beyond my desires also? That's the only thing.
Okay. That is answered, right?
Okay, okay, thank you.
Prashant, doesn't the resultant have to be between your extreme boundaries? No, the resultant doesn't have to be between your extreme boundaries. So, how is that? We are about to do in the next paragraph. So, Prashant, you can only read the next paragraph since it's your question.
Parallelogram law of forces in physics explains this phenomenon as illustrated below in figures 1 and 2. Consider an object in position O free to move in all directions. Two equal forces act upon it. One force horizontally along OA, the other vertically along OB. The object will then move neither in the direction of OA nor OB, but diagonally along OR. There is no force operating along OR. At the
Just
object,
one second, Prashant. Can you show that diagram? Otherwise, it won't make sense, Omkar.
Yeah, I'll have to paste it. Just give it.
Um, Prashant, you have the text with you? Because then you can
Yeah,
read
yeah.
and yeah. Okay, here we come. Okay, here he shows. Great, thanks, Omkar. Yeah, go ahead. Can you just read from
First,
consider an object in position O?
yes, ma'am. Consider an object in position O, free to move in all directions. Two equal forces act upon it. One force horizontally along OA, the other vertically along OB. The object will then move neither in the direction of OA nor OB, but diagonally along OR. There is no force operating along OR, yet the object moves in that direction. The force that drives the object along OR is called the resultant. The resultant force is the effect of both the forces.
Well,
Uh, in this, it says that you have the horizontal axis is uh, in this the summary author says that
How do
there
you
are two forces.
explain figure 2? What is figure 2? I'm not understanding.
we'll come to figure 2. Let's finish figure 1.
There are two forces, one along OA, which is horizontal direction, and there is another force which is OB, which is in the vertical direction. So the resultant is OR, which is neither OA nor OB.
Very. So, what is the moral of our story here? That your resultant force may not be anywhere close to the original force. So, imagine it like this. Are you all clear about what happened? Imagine there's a free floating object, any free floating object. There is this free floating object. There is one force on this pulling it in this direction. There is one force on it pulling it in this direction. Okay, one force pulling vertically, one force pulling horizontally. Now, these forces are equal, and this is a free floating object. Imagine it's some kind of ball or something. This is not a good example. Okay, so it's one force, equal force this direction, equal force this direction. Now, where will this object go? It cannot go in this direction because it's being pulled in this direction by equal force. It cannot go in this direction because it's being pulled in this direction by an equal force. So now where will this object go? It has no option but to go in this direction. This is what it is. Now, when it goes in the middle like that, your argument can be, there is no force in the middle. How is it going there? It is going because there are equal forces in this direction and this direction. Now, think of this free floating object having a pull in all different directions. Now, what will happen? Nobody can tell where this is going to go. And that is how our life works. Nobody can tell what it is because you've got a billion desires pulling you in all sorts of different directions. And then you say, oh, life is unpredictable. Life is unpredictable because the forces you are applying are unpredictable. Yes, Prashant?
Ma'am, my doubt was like if a person is born with disabilities in this life, then he should have at least one desire which was worse than that, because
Worse than
resultant
that.
worse than the disabled. I mean, he was born with resultant is disability.
Hmm.
So he should have had at least one better desire than this thing, right?
Better desire.
Better desire than this thing, and
Hmm.
one worse desire than this one.
Hmm.
Only then the resultant will be in between, right?
No, it's not better or worse. He'll explain. He'll go on. It's nothing to do with better or worse. It's to do with different forces. For instance, suppose, anyway, let us read it and then it will become clear. We'll do more examples also. So who will read the next one? Annie, you wanted to know what the next figure was, so you read the next para. Okay. Where is Annie?
You're muted, Annie.
I'm so sorry, so sorry. Let more forces OF1, OF2, OF3, etc. be applied on the object, several forces of varying strength and direction. Then the resultant would be the total effect of all those forces. Let it be OR. Then the object will move along OR. Here, again, the resultant force may not be in the direction of any one of the forces acting upon it. Yet the object will move in that direction. The same phenomenon takes place in your life. Your life is ordered by your resultant desire, the total effect of all your desires. Innumerable desires operate in you. Each has its own strength and direction, but you will move in the direction of your resultant desire, which may not be in the direction of any one of your desires. That should explain why your life may not always be in line with any particular desire. That is the law of life which applies to every individual throughout the world.
Will you summarize, Annie?
Yeah, so it's basically at that point of time when we have to move, whatever desire is prevalent at that particular point of time, we will move accordingly. Maybe my desire will change tomorrow for something else. I'll move somewhere else.
No, that's not what it's saying.
That was my interpretation, actually.
Okay. So let's go back to this free floating ball. Okay. When there was one, what should I say? One force pulling it here and one force pulling it here, it went in the middle. Correct? Now let us say there are hundreds of forces on this. One pulling it here, one pulling it here, one pulling it there, one pulling it there. Some of them are equal forces, some are less, some are heavier. So much complication. So where will this ball now go? Now he's
According to, I think, physics, it would go where the maximum desire is. That is the maximum force, according to physics. No?
According to physics, it will not do that. According to physics, it will go in the result. The where it will go is the resultant, not strongest. It may or may not go in the strongest. It goes where the resultant is. See, let us say, think about it. No? There is a force pulling it in this direction with the power of 100. Okay? So much highest, strongest pulling in this direction. But there are 100 other forces of varying amounts. 1, 10, 20, 45, 65, 80, 2, 3. How will it go in the, even though this was the highest, it can't go in that direction because the forces pulling it back are many. So where will it now go? It cannot go in the line of any of these, and none of them are strongest when you think about the whole. So it will go, it may go in a direction different from any one of those forces. That is why it's calling that OR. That is why it's possible that eventually your life is nothing like you wanted it to be, because so many things are put together. Take examples. No, say that Annie, I assume you're married, you must be having children or whatever it is, and lots of you may go to work. You have so many things happening. Maybe you have elderly parents to look after, a home to look after, so many things. Maybe there's somebody not well in your house who you're looking after. So many things can be going on. And you're really tired and fed up. And so you say, oh, if only I could stay in bed for 2 days. The only of my greatest desire is to stay in bed for 2 days. It may happen, not necessarily, it may happen that you fall ill, that you stay in bed, And now people have come to look after you because they're so fed up of looking after everybody. Now somebody's looking after you. You wanted to relax in bed and have somebody look after you. And for all you know, you reached hospital where you're lying in bed and now people are looking after you. Did you want to go to hospital? No, you didn't want to go to hospital. But this is where you'll end up. Therefore, you have to be extremely careful what you're thinking. It's like you have a massive cauldron of something and you're going on putting on things in it. You don't know what you're going to get out of that thing. Just random thoughts floating around in our minds are actually writing out our life.
That's what is manifestation, na? Basically.
Now, in the way
That's what it
today
is.
the way it's used in today's sense, manifestation is the opposite, where you think about one thing alone. This is the opposite of that. You don't think of one thing alone. You think of all kitsch pitch, full scale war of thoughts going on. Everything. This also you want, that also you want, that also you want, that also you want. End result is there's no saying what you actually get. Gunjan?
So, can we really trace back our actions and see why something went wrong? No?
I mean, I don't know whether you can. Maybe in some cases you can. If you made some, obvious mistake and it's in this janma, and you can see if in some cases you can, but in most cases you can't, and there's no point either. What's the point? Like for instance, suppose you're making a dish. Do you cook, Gunjan? You know how to cook? So you take a patila, you take a vessel, and you start putting things into it. Okay. Now, after half an hour, you put dal, you put rice, you put sabzi, you put namak, you put vinegar, you put good, you put til, you put kalonji, you're putting whatever you feel like, whatever jo man mein aaye, you're putting into it. After half an hour, you taste it. And it tastes horrible because we just put whatever you felt like. Okay? Now, do you need to go back and find out what all wrong things I did? You have to find out now, how can I make this dish edible? There's no point going to the past. Now you say, okay, I think what I want to make out of this is a khichdi because that's all I can possibly make out of it. So what should I do now so that I get it somewhere close to a khichdi? That is a more productive thing. Why go back into the past and find out all the wrong things you have done?
Then how will we improve? Like, for example,
how will we
let's
improve
say-
is enough of a question. You don't have to give an example. Example is given to elucidate a point when the other person doesn't get it. In this case, I understood the question. How will we improve? Study Vedanta. You will be able to understand the laws of life, and based on the laws of life, you modulate your thoughts. Simple, no? Nothing very complicated. The best part about Vedanta is simple.
Okay, a little bit in my mind, it's contradicting because when we were reading this book, okay, so here in the very beginning, in the first chapter or so, it's written that we examine plane crashes, but we barely put any attention when after a divorce. So it is basically trying to say that we don't reflect what went wrong. So based on that, I think, isn't it important to go back and reflect? For example, let's say I'm cooking rice and it cooked more. So I would reflect, okay, maybe due to more water or something, maybe more heat, it would have cooked in this way. So ideally, when we think, it seems like reflecting back and figuring out what went wrong and maybe putting on, for example, giving the name why it went wrong, maybe do some justice to or in a way give some satisfaction to ourselves. Okay, this went wrong and I can improve on that.
Okay, so there are two separate questions. One question is in happiness guarantee, it says we do crash investigations. We don't investigate crashes in people's individual lives. That the point of that is to say that we don't seem to care about it. We just go on to the next thing. That is the point of it. So when you want to care about it, the way is not so much that you go into each one and find out कि इसने क्या बोला, उसने क्या बोला. Two people have a fight, right? So one thing, इसने ये बोला, उसने वो बोला, all that. This will get us nowhere. फिर उसने मुझे ऐसे कहा, उसने मुझे, to get us nowhere. Okay, so what do? You say, okay, let's figure out what is it you want. Okay, so Gunjan wants this, her friends want this. Now let's see कि उसमें कोई compromise कर सकते हैं क्या. So the point over here is, are you attending to the matter? Not that you actually go and investigate each individual thing. Okay, and the second part is, even if you say there is some value in that, which of course there is some value in that, the point is, you can't in your life. You can't even remember what you did in this Janma. Forget what you did in last Janma. So therefore, it's not a practical way of going about it. But of course, in some things where a major thing, you had a divorce or something, you can find out what did I do wrong. That's major stuff. But otherwise, remember always, vacuum cleaner is better than that stick. What is that stick called? Anybody knows what that stick is called?
Trash picker.
Trash picker. Okay. Vacuum cleaner is better. Thank you, Mesh. Vacuum cleaner is better than trash picker. And but sometimes you have to pick up the trash, so you use it, but 90% should be vacuum cleaned or power cleaned, whichever one.
Thank you. Makes sense.
Yes, Prashant?
Ma'am, with respect to the second diagram, OF7 was the horizontal one and OF1 was the vertical one. The resultant is OR dash. Now I am born with a wealth of OR dash, which is equivalent to units of 30 units. Then OF7 should be less than that. Is that necessary? I mean, one of my desires was to be less than that. And OF1 is like above OR dash.
No, it doesn't work quite like that. It like take that example of somebody going to hospital. No, there was no desire to go to hospital, no desire of little hospital or more hospital. It doesn't work like that. Take another example. Take an example of a person who wants to be very rich. Okay, so that's his whatever, OF, whatever it was, right? And equally strong with that desire of wanting to be rich is the desire to be lazy. It's not like he wants more money and less money. So these are contradictory desires, and therefore he will go off, I don't know, he may become a criminal because he wants money without having to work for it. I hope you realized something while this thing was on. Omkar, you had put that before class or during class? The second diagram.
During class.
Did you all notice that? I hope you all noticed it, because that was something that you as Vedanta students must know. So please tell me, what is it that you notice so that at least you can identify it when you see it? What happened here? And huh?
Ma'am, what are you referring to? The diagrams?
What I am referring to, you have to tell me. Did you notice what just happened during that paragraph? And as a Vedanta student, you must be able to pick it up, because as a Vedanta student, that's your primary responsibility in life. Mahesh?
The diagram was put later. I mean,
Yeah, just give us one word.
No, at first there was the text, and then there was the text with the diagram superimposed, and then the second diagram came little later, which was
Any
with that.
one word.
lack of unplanned.
No, correction is, I think, correction.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Both of you are right. Mahesh and
Edited. Edited.
edited. Anticipation. The first time around, when we read the paragraph, he was able to see that without the diagram, we couldn't read that paragraph. So then he had to scuttle around and do it. So that's what Mahesh is calling unplanned, which is correct. In the second time, did anybody need to tell him? This is called anticipation. As a Vedanta student, this is the first thing you should learn in life. You anticipate. You don't solve problems. You anticipate them. You deal with it before the problem has arisen. And therefore, in a Vedantan's life, there are fewer problems. Simple examples of that are, you have to be in class at 10:30. You should be ready for class by
10:15.
10:15.
right? Why are you going to be ready at 10:15?
So that
For the
if there is
bhajans.
a delay,
Sometimes there could be issues. We are anticipating there could be network issues. We are anticipating. So this is planning. So everything we're setting up right, which, yeah.
Not only network issues, it is also somebody will phone you.
You will be tuned to class. Your mental setup will be.
You'll be mentally attuned. Somebody will call you. Somebody, your maid will come and say, "Iska kya, uska kya," and then you will give her excuse. I was going to come in class, but my maid did this. My maid did that. What do you mean your maid did it? It's not your maid's lookout to keep your life organized. It's your lookout. Oh, but what can I do? My wife said this, my husband said that, my children said that. What are you talking? If your husband, wife, children, maid, driver, neighbor have a tendency to do these things, keep a buffer time. Because if they do these kind of things, they do it. You cannot go on and on all the time. But you already know they'll do it. When you invest for the future, it's called anticipation. We don't come. One man, 60, is about to retire. He's telling me I have no money. What do you mean? Was retirement an act of God? Did it suddenly arrive on the scene? Did you not know when 20 that you were going to retire at 60? So a Vedanta student is known for anticipation. We attempt not to solve problems. We attempt to not get the problem. So you're always 1 or 2 steps ahead of the game, and then you don't have problems. And people will say, oh, you're so lucky, you don't have problems. You don't know how our life is. It is full of problems. It's not full of problems. You put the problems there, my friend. Nobody's creating problems in our lives but us. So when we talk about resultant,
sometimes unprecedented, it just comes. Sometimes everything is so smooth and something will just go wrong. Despite your best efforts to, I've seen that as a teacher, I've seen that many a times. We plan out our classes, we plan out everything, but at the last minute, things don't go according how we have planned. It does happen once in a while.
And you know that, right? You have been a teacher for long. You have seen classes don't go. Sometimes I arrive at a class thinking I'm covering portion X to Y. Yeah, nobody lets me speak in the class. Whole hour is gone. I've not covered anything.
Correct.
So if I say that the course is for 16 weeks, 16 weeks we are going to do this. What all has been considered? This has been considered because we know this
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. So buffer is there. Yeah.
Always. So you say, no, I was unplanned. That unplanned things will happen is a given. That's why you leave your house. If you have to reach somewhere in half an hour, you leave 45 minutes early. Because you assess that unplanned things happen. So you say, I'm going to Gurgaon today. Okay, it takes me an hour to get to Gurgaon. You will have to leave hour and 20 minutes ahead of time. So every one of us knows that unpredictable things happen. Where's your buffer? So as a Vedanta person, these are the kind of things that show whether you're living your Vedantic life or not. If you chant the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart, that is not Vedanta. That is chanting or that is memorization. So as we are studying this, please note, as we are studying resultant desire, if we don't understand its application, my resultant desire is causing a mess. So therefore, anticipate, look forward, think 2-3 steps ahead, what will happen, what is likely to happen. Have you noticed that the events that happen here go relatively smoothly? Have you noticed when you go to other places, they are a little more chaotic? Why? Because everyone here has to be trained to anticipate. I better not talk too much because we have an event at 12 o'clock and I have no idea how that event is going to go. But anticipate, anticipate, anticipate. Okay, you missed it the first time. Omkar missed it the first time. But before the next paragraph came up, he's already there. He's on the ball, right? And that's how it should be. And that is an example of how a Vedantin behaves. So we should give Omkar a standing ovation, right? Very good, Omkar. You passed today's exam.
Thank you. Hariom, ma'am, I have a
One
question for
second,
you.
Dinesh. Gunjan had a question, but she has now given up because she didn't think she was going to get a chance to speak. Yeah, go ahead, Gunjan.
So I was thinking like anticipating on things, and like how is it different? How would we know that what we are anticipating and what we are just thinking that this will be a consequence? How will we differentiate in between these two things? For example,
Don't give an example. Don't give an example.
okay.
I understood the question. If somebody in class doesn't understand the question, then they'll ask, then you give an example. How do you know the difference? With your intellect. Intellect is discrimination. If your intellect doesn't exist, how will you know the difference between anything? So how will you know? Are you anticipating consequences? That means, okay, I want my money to be safe. So I will put it in an FD, and I put it in an FD in a good bank, and the bank collapses. Your point will be, oh, but how could I anticipate that the bank will collapse? Your anticipation always includes the fact that the future is not seen by anyone. So people take loans and all. When you get a job, people will tell you, take a loan, buy a house. It's one of the most silly things to tell a young person because how much is your salary? I'm earning 1 lakh. So you can easily take a down payment of so much. You can easily do a monthly payments of so much. It's a stupid ways of talking. Do you know whether next year you'll have this job? Some people say, I'll buy this house on EMI. I'll put it on rent and the rent will pay for the EMI. Look how smart I am. Really? You think you'll always have rent to pay your EMIs? So when you When you just see a rosy picture, that's usually an indication of the fact that you're not thinking this through. If you're able to see both sides of it, that may indicate that you're thinking it through. But nothing will work if your intellect is not available. Because that discrimination intellect will have to do, no?
Still, there would the what we are anticipating would be different from our first ended experience of that particular thing.
No, could
Like
be same,
there
could be
is
different.
like there is a possibility.
Of course, future is not seen. So you have to know all the various things that are likely to happen and know that nature is infinite. Besides what I have thought, many other things could also happen. You have to know this. And you have plan A, plan B, fallback. If this happens, this, all that you've already worked out.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ganesh.
How you, ma'am? So that see, it's very difficult for a person to comprehend. You think that I want rest, and you end up in the hospital. I know where it's coming from, but it is one of those OF, right? One of those lines, OF1, OF2, OF3, and that will result to a this thing. Because a random, it's very difficult to comprehend that nature will allow a random thought to manifest. Because nature is in.
What? Poor Gunjan is made to stand in line and go, Ganesh, where are you? I can't see
Yes,
you.
yes, here I am.
Okay, right. So nature is allows random, not allows random, nothing. These are laws that simply take over. It's not preventing or allowing. The moment you have a thought, a force is being applied. Now, if you have no other thought, that force will get predominance. If you have another thought, then it will mix with those other forces, whatever are playing, and that will show up.
And when understood. And when will the result happen? You work, you have a desire to act, you act on it. When will the result come? That is also not answered, cannot be answered.
Resultant is happening every moment. That you are now on this screen saying this is your resultant. Resultant is every moment.
Okay.
Individual results we don't know, but there is whatever is currently happening is the resultant.
Okay. Individual results means
like you started, I don't know, studying some subject.
Okay.
You started studying French. So by when will you learn French, be fluent? That will be determined by other factors. But resultant means whatever is happening at the moment or whatever ever happens, that is the result.
And we are not looking at this life, next life. It is just that whole thing. Whenever it has to happen, it will happen. Right?
Yeah, but mostly we don't look at next life, earlier life, right? This life, there's plenty.
I know that. I know. I'm not even getting into that, but I just want. Okay, ma'am. I think I understood. Thank you.
Okay, so if you have a force this way and a force this way and they're equal, then it will go like this. If you have a billion forces working, where will this thing go? Nobody can say. Right? This is where we have come so far. So, who will read the next paragraph?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
I put on my camera. Yeah, I think you can see me.
Yes. Oh, Naeem. Oh, yes, I can see you now.
So, Jankichi, what I felt was that figure 1 and figure 2, to have figure 1 is an ideal situation where you have forces in two directions, they're equal, and then you have a resultant force. But to arrive at figure 1, some amount of controlled figure 2 is necessary, is what I feel. You have to explore different desires to understand which one really is your true desire, and then you can apply maximum force in that direction. How do you arrive at figure 1 and have two forces which are equally strong without making sure that these are the desires that you want?
No, we are not discussing that at the moment. We are just discussing what is the meaning of the term resultant. Figure 1 is a simple way of looking at it, and a more difficult way is figure 2. That is all. What we are to do, we are not discussing at all here. We're simply
That's my
discussing.
point. We are comparing figure 1 and figure 2. And what you're
No, we're
suggesting is
not.
that figure 1 is the one is
No,
ID, right?
that's what I'm saying. No, we're not doing that. Nobody is suggesting you go with figure 1. Figure 1 is as wrong as figure 2. Figure
But that figure 1 is
1,
what
you're going in a direction you don't wish to go.
I disagree with that, Jack. I feel that figure 1 is better than figure 2 because at least you have an idea that these are the two desires giving you a resultant force.
Yes,
But
so
figure 2 is so chaotic. You don't know where you'll end up, right?
yeah, Naim, you're going well beyond the text. As of now, all that he's establishing is what is the meaning of the term result. Now, what to do about it, we're still coming to. Be patient. We will arrive there.
I also thought that this is with respect to the desires. That is why I told you that in figure 2, whichever is more, that is what even I thought.
Okay, 1 second, Annie. Let me finish with Naim. Naim, what you're saying is that we have to go in is a solution. But first, we are finding out what exactly is the problem. That's all we're doing currently.
Right.
Okay.
And you're saying that having too many desires is a problem, is what you suggest, right? It's better to have fewer desires, right?
You will have a more predictable situation if your desires are not just fewer but more directed. All that solution will come to later on. We're not discussing that at the moment.
But that's the point, Jankji. How do we know that this is what we want?
Okay,
These
we're
are the two
coming to it.
desires.
We're coming to it. Just take it easy. We'll come to it. We are not covering everything today. We are only doing resultant today. So we'll come to it.
I'm sticking to the same. I mean, coming back to this event that happened just now, where the person was showing the slide, and then he showed the correct slide the next time, and you gave him the freedom, which was nice, to fumble up first, and second, to anticipate, right? So it's the same thing, figure 1, figure. It's like we allow ourselves to fumble somewhere, and then realize that what should we anticipate?
Yeah, you're going into solutions, Naim. We are not doing solution. We are doing concept at the moment. We'll come to solution. Next Saturday exists. Don't believe that next Saturday doesn't exist. And by 11:30, we have to finish this thing. Next Saturday is coming. Chill. So, Annie, you're also right. Of course, it's talking about desire, but we're only talking about explaining what is the concept of resultant. And that brings us to 11:30. So, we will continue next time. We'll do the solutions. Please don't lose hope that there is no solution. We'll do it next time. Hari Om.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you all are aware about the
Thank you.
12 o'clock talk. You all are aware about the 12 o'clock corporate talk. I hope if anybody is a corporate person,